thank you for tuning in. This is Season 3, Episode 2, and today my special guest is Jeff Bzdawka. He's the Senior Vice President for Global Hotel Technology at Hyatt Hotels. Additionally, we're coming to you live from Lambeau Field, home of the Packers. So please, sit back, relax, and enjoy the show. Welcome to the corner office. It's good to have you here.
Great to be here, Steven. Nice to see you in Lambeau Field. I wish I was up there with you.
Yeah, you bet. You know, I thought there would have been more snow, but...
Well, you know, a funny thing at Lambeau Field, the way they clear the snow is volunteers. Local volunteers come in and shovel. So it looks like they knew you were going to be here today, and they shoveled out the bowl for you.
Very cool. Well, they did a great job. You can't even tell. And of course, we paid a little bit extra to get our name up in lights here in the corner. So
nice.
Good stuff. So, of course, the staple of this show is, what are you drinking today?
Well, most of the time you'll find me with my Coke Zero, and I don't know if it's the need for caffeine or just loving this the feel of the cold can. But if I do choose to indulge and somebody asks me red or white, my response is vodka, and I'm a vodka drinker. Now, until recently, my favorite vodka was Chopin, but with the pandemic, trying to challenge myself to break out of my comfort zone, and drinking falls into that. So I tried vodkas. I'm starting local or regional distilleries. And through my Vodka of the Month Club, I found some great ones and then some not so great ones. But I have a newfound favorite, and happen to have the bottle here. It's Door County Cherry Infused Vodka. It's from Central Standard Craft Distillery out of Milwaukee, Wisconsin. I'm originally from Milwaukee. I love cherries, and vodka is my favorite beverage, if you would, or liquor. So you can't go wrong combining the three. So my drink today is what I'll say is a modified vodka tonic. A bit of this, and it depends on what type of day I'm having, just how much that bit is. As I'm watching my carbs, I'm doing a light tonic water, Fever Tree. Don't skimp on the quality of the tonic. That and a little bit of lemon juice. It's a great vodka tonic. Just need a basket of cheese curds and I'm at home. Cheers, Steven.
Cheers indeed.
Hey, what are you drinking there?
Oh, so as you were mentioned that you were going to be into the vodka today, I actually wanted to match that. So I started doing a little bit of a search, and I'm actually drinking a raspberry lemonade with some vodka. So it's garnished with some raspberries and strawberries, but essentially it's vodka, a little bit of sour puss apple, and in addition to that, some lemonade. And
I'll have to try that when I get home tonight. Any particular vodka?
In this case, I actually use Grey Goose just because I had it here. But I also go to Smirnoff. In Canada, we don't have a Vodka of the Month Club, unfortunately. But maybe I'll sign up in the U.S. and get a friend to redirect it this way.
Well, if you come to Chicago, we'll be happy to hook you up and get you connected.
Sounds
so
good.
Again, cheers. I know I'm violating. This is a Moscow Mule Cup, but I had to go with the Green Bay Packers.
Oh,
so
absolutely.
Cheers again.
Now, before we get too in depth, you're actually an owner, part owner of the Packers, correct?
Yes, I am. I have my stock certificate at home. And the only NFL team in the league to be owned by the local community.
Very cool. Very cool. I think we're going to get a little bit more information on your love of the Packers towards the end of the show, but that's a very cool little piece of information.
I was really hoping to celebrate a Super Bowl win, and we could talk about that, but that didn't happen this year.
No, the Super Bowl was, I think it was a bit of a disappointment to many folks. But except for Tom Brady and the Patriots.
Exactly.
Cool. Well, great. And how about a joke? Do you have, what's your favorite dad joke that you got or pun for us?
Well, I was hoping you'd skip that part, but all right, we'll give it a shot. Well, just as an interesting aside, in my younger days, I had a part-time gig at a comedy club, and a lot of material from my time there, but unfortunately, I can't share that with you today. But I talked with my wife and my daughter, and I tried the material on them. The joke I'm going to share with you, they originally scoffed at, and my daughter gave me an alternative. So if you don't mind, I'm going to give you two.
Sure,
all right?
Absolutely.
So scene we're drinking, a mushroom walks into a bar late at night, and the bartender says to the mushroom, "I'm sorry, we don't serve mushrooms here." And the mushroom looked at him and said, "I don't understand why. I'm a fun guy." Cheers. So seeing we're technology focused, Steven, I did a little bit of online shopping last night, and I ordered a chicken and an egg, and I'll let you know. All right, so I have to ask, are they both bad?
No, they were both, good. We'll keep them both. We won't increase the rating of the show any.
Which did you like the best? I have to give my family grief.
The second one. I did hear the joke about the mushroom. It was slightly different. It was a sandwich walks into the bar, and the bartender goes over to him and says essentially, "I'm sorry, you have to leave. We don't serve food in here." Close to it. All right, good stuff. So what are you doing to essentially stay positive during these last times since March when COVID has really started to hit us, and of course impact many of the Hyatt properties as well as many of the vendors and everyone in the hospitality community?
Yeah, thank you for not asking me what am I doing to maintain my sanity, because that's not doing so good there. While I always knew well-being was important, it was never something I really focused on. And with the pandemic, it really brought well-being to the forefront for me. And it's not just about, physical health, but also, mental well-being. And, really take the time every morning to try to be reflective on something or someone I'm grateful for, and take the time out of our busy days and dealing with the churn and the thrash that we're dealing with, is to reach out to that person and just a personal connection, acknowledge them, thank them, and just take the time to maintain those personal connections. So that's really the first piece. The second piece really is trying to focus on that which I can control. There's so many things around us that we can't control. And if you try to tune out that noise and focus on the things that you can control. And the last piece I'd share, it sounds pretty academic or maybe even a bit corny, is many years ago in my early management days, there was a book, it's called Fish, and it's pretty academic. It's based on customer experiences and workplace colleagues of the Seattle fish market at the public market in Seattle. And it's just a constant reminder that if I find myself down, I glance, it's somewhere always in my office. And if I see the book, it reminds me I can choose my attitude. One of the few things we in life can choose is our attitude. And if you choose a positive attitude and choose to focus on the positive things, it makes a big difference. And it helps me at times pull myself out of having that victim's mentality, which is so easy to do these days.
Oh, that's great. It's good, insightful. Kind of like your book, you just got to keep swimming, right?
Exactly.
Heading in the right direction and pick how you're going to do that swim. So
yep,
it's a very good point. Very cool. Good stuff. So Hyatt, of course, you folks have adapted to the changes as well. What new things have you folks implemented during these times?
Yeah, as we look at it, I hesitate even referring to it as new. But what we ended up doing is accelerated many of the things that were already in progress. The pandemic, again, really hasn't changed our areas of focus. Most of the work was underway, and while we kind of slotted things a bit differently, we really decided we wanted to focus on, the 3 C's. As and this goes beyond Hyatt, and this is a hospitality, challenge. It's up to all of us to try to find ways to get the traveling public back to being comfortable and confident in travel. And the 3rd C is really where our digital experience comes into play, and it's about enabling choice. So, the industry oftentimes talks about it as the contactless journey. We look at it a bit differently because we're in hospitality, which is people caring for people, and it's more about enabling choice and meeting the guests where they are. So, really looking at those points of the digital journey and, digital key, for instance. Back in April and May, we had made the assumption that all owners were going to back away from any commitments on capital dollars and not do deployment-related efforts. Surprisingly, we had more activations in digital key in 2020 than we did in 2019. Wow. We now have nearly 600 hotels that are active with that offer that part of the experience, and we have many more that are in the pipeline. So again, our commitment to meeting guests where they are. Nearly every one of our hotels now has enhanced check-in and check-out capabilities, either through our Hyatt.com or through our mobile app. Again, enabling choice. If guests are more comfortable not interacting directly with a colleague at one of our hotels, we give them the options to bypass the desk. The other piece that we're really focused on, and a common theme, and I've heard this referred to many times in the last few weeks, is we find ourselves in a period that's being referred to as the Great Reset. And with this being the Great Reset, we are spending more time and focused on what's going on at property level, with irregular operations, with different staffing models, with different guest expectations. The needs are different at property level and those touch points, and whether it's our colleagues or our guests. So we are really tuned into those avenues, getting feedback and continuing to iterate and find ways to improve those experiences. Again, enabling choice in getting guests as well as our colleagues comfortable and confident to come back to our hotels.
Great. Well, the 3 C's, I think, it's a great initiative for sure. And I think it's well thought out and should play a good role with guests for Hyatt in future. Absolutely. Cool. So what new innovations do you have to kind of shape the future? Is it more building on those 3 C's, or are you expanding into, new ideas, new paths, new trends, etc.?
It is continuing to build upon and using that as our the common theme or our guidepost, if you would. And other things that we're looking at is supporting a digital dining capabilities, QR codes, relying and utilizing and leveraging the technology that our guests bring with them, and experiences guests are already accustomed to doing. QR codes, scanning QR codes, accessing menus, the ability to order online and then indicate what type of service you want. If you want a kind of a knock and drop type of experience from room service to going down to the marketplace and picking it up. So again, enabling that choice with digital dining. Another area that we are focused on is in our lifestyle brands. And the build back will likely be a bit lumpy. We are very confident that travel will come back, and in many instances, travel with a vengeance. And we expect the leisure space to be the strongest and come back perhaps the quickest. But then Hyatt is very well known prior to the pandemic for groups and events. We have some great, hotels, large hotels near convention centers that are part of large-scale meetings, events, citywides. Is we're spending a lot of time focused on what we'll call the hybrid meeting space. And meetings will come back and will look differently and will continue to evolve. So how can we use our colleagues, our people, along with technology to again get our customers, being our meetings and event planners, comfortable and confident that it's okay to bring back meetings into our environment? Or if you need to do a distributed type of meeting, how can we help facilitate that? And then using technology to support those experiences. So those are kind of the areas that we are really focused on. And then, we just have to continue to pivot as demand continues to change. I think the acting with speed and agility is critical here, making sure we're getting feedback and feedback often to enable us to continue to validate our direction and reset or pivot where necessary.
That's it. It's getting that feedback, I guess, and testing the waters and seeing what makes sense for people. It definitely will be key. QR codes, I believe you're right. I think they're here to stay as well. Definitely more of a resurgence than anything. I know that they were here almost 10 years ago and seemed like the next big thing, and then they kind of almost went away. So I think that's good. Of course, we're big into hybrid meetings as well. I think that is the way of the future as well. Folks on site or remotely. I remember several actually big events, HT&G events at different Hyatts, including the Hyatt Manchester and San Diego, I do believe it was. The Hyatt in Dulles Airport, we had a couple HT&G events there. Always been great venues and top-notch service. So,
great. Well, thank you for that. And Safety NetAccess has always been a great partner for us as well.
Thank you. Appreciate that. Well, Jeff, greatly appreciate you being here, spending your afternoon with us. Of course, we're going to talk about Packers here in just a minute, but thank you for being here. Cheers. Greatly appreciate it.
Cheers. Perfect timing. I'm almost empty. So cheers, Steven.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Well, that's a wrap. I hope you enjoyed Season 3, Episode 2, and of course, my discussion with Jeff Bzdawka. It was greatly appreciated. For more information on Jeff, I've included his LinkedIn contact information below, should you wish to reach out to him. Additionally, for more information on Safety NetAccess, our products and our services, please don't hesitate to visit our website at www.safetynetaccess.com. Until next time, be safe, be healthy, be well, and hey, don't forget to be happy. Cheers, everyone. So Jeff, as the Super Bowl was just this past weekend, what did you think of it?
At the opening ceremony, the opening and closing ceremony, and back to the question about Packers. Packers, while they weren't playing, they had a presence. It started with Vince Lombardi and the shots of Vince Lombardi and some of his great quotes, including one of my favorites. It's not whether you get knocked down, it's whether you get up. So it started with Vince Lombardi and it ended with a Lombardi trophy. So the Packers were definitely there in spirit.
Jeff, of course, you mentioned that you were a huge Packers fan, part ownership as well of the Packers and of course Lambeau Field. Can you tell us a little bit where that love of the Packers comes from and just how big of a cheesehead are you?
Well, I'm originally from a small suburb just outside of Milwaukee, Wisconsin. and spent my entire childhood growing up in Milwaukee, and went to college at the University of Wisconsin. So living in Wisconsin and having that passion for the Packers, it just kind of runs, through the veins. Interesting side note, though, back many, many years ago, in the early days, the Packers actually split their season and played a portion of their home games in Milwaukee and the other portion in Lambeau Field. And I think they stopped doing that in the late 80s. But I still go up probably, although this year I didn't have the opportunity for obvious reasons. But the last 4 or 5 seasons, I've made it up to at least 4 home games, and it's quite the experience. Lambeau is one of those iconic, historic sporting venues, much like Wrigley Field here in Chicago or Fenway Park. It just feels, different.
Very cool. Very cool. And of course, Aaron Rodgers from the Packers won the NFL's MVP this year, which was great.
Yep, I was supposed to have my MVP jersey on, the number 12. However, I left it at home. I forgot it. But, it's, well, Brady won the Super Bowl. Aaron won the MVP. So just wait till next year, as the saying goes.
There you go.